Let me welcome you to the Impact on Technology session. And so we have today with us on stage Hans, and we will also soon have Mate with us. Let me do a very quick introduction of Hans, or should I say Hans or Hans? What do you want me to call you? But it should be Hans, right? Officially it's Hans, so I say Hans. So Hans is the Senior Vice President Automotive Systems Group at Infineon, who's one of our corporate partners. And Infineon is a large player in the field of semiconductors because, they have over 8.5 billion euros in annual revenue and more than 46,000 people globally. And Hans himself has over 30 years of experience in the semiconductor industry. And since a long time as well. Okay. And you've been in Europe and Asia, leading many different departments. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. So probably you will need to mute yourself in that sense.
Yeah, I'm just asking me to.
Specifically bringing the business requirements of the automotive to translating into product requirements in chipsets. He's been doing this for the last 10 years or so in his current role, and to really meet the demands of. So to have him here, and we also have Mate in on our panel, and actually I would like to invite one of our council members, Len. I'm inviting him on stage now. Okay, because thanks to Len, we have our second speaker coming soon. And let's see, is Mate in the room? Let me see. Mireia, you left the stage, but is Mate in the room at the moment? Question mark. I don't see him yet.
Yes, Angela, your connection is a little bit
cut. He is connecting again. He will be short. He is founder and innovator from Croatia. He founded Rimac Automobili a couple of years ago. And he has grown this company from physically an impossible place to start an automotive company to a company that now has more than 900 people. He is also called the Elon Musk of Europe. And I think it will be very interesting to have him here in the call from the innovation side.
Okay, great. So I see that I was breaking up. Thanks, Len. Do you question mark?
We hear you a little
Mireia,
bit
do you hear me
broken.
Good or not so good? Okay. So let's see if we can get Mate on stage, and then let's see if I need to hand over to someone else to then moderate this if my voice is not stable enough. Okay. Let's one second, guys. All right, but am I still breaking up or not? If not, then I would love to maybe open the floor with Hans already, just get the conversation started. Yes? Oh, I see thumbs. Okay, I'm okay now. All right, guys. So just my question is, of course, in terms of technology, what is the major thing that Infineon at the moment is doing in terms of, for the future of mobility? In technology-wise, what's the next thing that's happening?
Means if you talk about technology in automotive, we are in a time where I would say even there's a certain kind of revolution happening to the automotive industry. I do see three mega trends which is impacting the automotive industry quite heavily. It means we were talking about e-mobility. This is definitely changing from a combustion engine to an electric drivetrain is taking the heart of a car or changed the heart of a car, which was before always the combustion engine. And secondly, of course, what we have also heard before is automated driving. This is also something which is really changing not only how we drive, it's also changing very much the architecture of the car industry. And the third one, which we have to also look into, and I think it's sometimes, let's say, underestimated, what is the impact to the car industry, and this is the connectivity. So we are generating tons of data in the car, and these kind of data at the moment are encapsulated only in the car. But this will be now the big next treasure box for the people to use these data, not only inside the car, also outside of the car. We will have a lot of use cases to use the generated data in the car, in services, in other kind of interactions.
So when you say autonomous driving, we have heard quite a lot about that. It's just like everybody's waiting still for it. So what is the biggest challenge? Why hasn't it developed to the point?
Autonomous driving, I think, has a multiple challenge. I would say technology-wise, a lot of things have been developed the last couple of years, which is enabling this kind of technology. But we are living in a certain environment, and the environments we are on the road as they are. We have highways, some of them are well developed, but we have also cities. We have cities like, for example, well developed with good roads, with good traffic signs, but you have also the cities which are old cities with very small streets where people are not behaving as they should do, means they're crossing the streets, and all these kind of challenges have to be managed. So that means on the one hand side, we have an infrastructure topic, we have a legal topic. So legal topic means when is the driver still responsible for driving the car, or when do we have a, let's have a software who is driving us is responsible. That means, in other words, when is the OEM and the owner of a system basically responsible? This is regulated. So from that point, we have a framework, but to get all these kind of things on the road specified, also, let's say, certified, this is exactly the challenge we have right now. So we have to be careful because we are talking about the safety of people, and everybody wants to be, of course, driven safely, even if it's driven autonomously. And I think nobody wants to risk his own life by being in a car which is where you are basically a guinea pig of being driven from A to B. Angela, you can still hear me?
Angela, I believe we cannot hear you so well. Also, Matt has joined us just now. Maybe Matt, you can also show some information or your insights on the impact of technology.
Yeah, hi everybody. Sorry, I had a little bit of connection issues speaking about technology. I hope you can hear me well. Yeah, you can. Hi, great to see you here. Hi Hans, great to be on the same panel here with great speakers. I think, we are really going through a huge transition currently, but I think what the industry sees as change is really, I think, very short-sighted. I'm quite exposed to the managements of big automotive companies, and they see electrification as a big change. And I don't really agree with that. I mean, I'm speaking from a perspective of a company that lives from providing electrification to the industry. And, if you look at the supply chain from 100 years ago, like you had, the suppliers like Bosch already at that time making spark plugs and different parts of the car. And the OEMs were buying the parts, making the car, selling the car to the dealership, and the dealership will sell it to the end user, to the owner of the car and driver. Now, 100 years later, you have the same Bosch making not a spark plug, but an inverter for electric car. And then, the OEM builds a car, sells it to the dealer, the buyer buys the car, and everybody stays in their comfort zone. I don't think it's a big change for the OEM to put in an inverter instead of an exhaust system. The process is exactly the same. So electrification is a big thing in the industry, but I think it doesn't change the relationship of power in the transportation industry. You still have the suppliers, the OEMs, the dealerships, and the owners of the car. What will really change the relationship is new mobility, and autonomous driving is just one part of it. Hans was talking about it, and all those aspects are very critical, but I believe that will be hygiene, like making phone calls with your phone. Every phone can do a phone call, and every phone can take a phone call. It's not about that. That's not why we buy a phone. Every car will be autonomous, and every car has to be safe. It's not allowed, it will not be tolerated if the system is not safe. It has to be super safe, better than any driver. And then, the car companies lose their power. They are not going to be the ones who will make those systems, the autonomous driving system. And you basically have a different value chain. I also think the autonomous driving system is not really the key. The key is the relationship to the user. Who has the relationship with the end customer? Who is the interface to the user? And it can be the same company that makes the car, but not likely. It can be the same company that makes the autonomous driving system, more likely. But it could be also separate companies, but the car company is losing power. But the real impact is on the end user, on the human, because this thing, the iPhone, didn't change the just Nokia. It changed the lives of everybody. And I think what autonomous driving will do, and the new mobility, it will change people's life. Real estate will change because your commute doesn't matter so much anymore, because you don't spend time sitting behind the steering wheel doing no added value work. You will either enjoy, relax, read, work, whatever. You will be productive as a human. So it will matter less if you live a little bit further away. Cities will change. 40% of airport revenue comes today from parking. They will not have that anymore. 60% of police is related to traffic. When you take drivers out of the equation, what does 60% of the police do? I think this will have so much impact on the lives of us. It will change the industry completely, but that's just a small part of it. So I really believe that these things have changed our lives for better or for worse in the last 20 years. And the next change like that is mobility. That's my view.
So thanks for commenting. I hope my internet is okay-ish. Is it okay or not okay,
No,
gentlemen? It's better? Okay. So Mireille will take over if it's not going well on my side. So yeah, I just also wonder, because everybody is also talking about AI, and bigger institutions are even talking about the bionic society. So where the machines and the AI really are going to be an extension of the human. And I just wonder, like, if you are working on AI in your companies and how you see that apply into the future in the bionic society.
Yes, I can start from our side. Of course, AI is a topic everybody is in touch and is using it. If you talk about mobility, I would say if you talk about the car itself, AI will be having more a, let's say, supporting element in terms of technology. It opens certain things. I don't think that in the car we will see that the car is learning on the road, because that's not possible. So we need cars which are, let's say, having a safe, well-implemented software which is certified that we can trust into. So if this car would have to learn on the road how it's drive, I think this is not the way how AI can do. So therefore, AI is a technology which we see, and we will do it. And we have in many fields and sensors and all that stuff. We have such kind of learning vehicles. We can optimize the car during the operation, but AI is not at the moment the dominating, let's say, technology in the car. Outside the car, I would say it will be having a big impact, because more data which we are generating inside the car will be used outside of the car. And here AI is a great technology to utilize that here to optimize certain systems, to optimize traffic, to optimize the behavior of people. So from here, AI is a big topic, yes.
Maybe I see one comment here. Session name is Impact on Technology, not Society. So maybe from that perspective, talking about the impact of the future of mobility on the technology, I think the focus will shift from. I mean, it's related to your question in terms of AI. It will shift a lot from the mechanical bits of the car, and there will be no car anymore where it's relevant how the steering feeling is, because there will be no steering systems. The driving dynamics will not be important, because 99.9999% of the time, except in emergency situations, you will have less than 0.2 G in any direction, lateral or longitudinal. So like braking dynamics and steering maneuvering will only become important when you try to avoid, or when the car tries to avoid an accident. So I think the technology will shift a lot more to the user experience. So how do you make the journey of the person the best possible? How do you make it safest? And I think there, AI is important to, first of all, make the driver. But as I said, that's going to be more of hygiene. Every mobility service in the future will have to have a driver that just works, but the customers won't care about that. I think it's more about making the user journey the best. And by having the sensors in the car and knowing most about the user, I think that's where AI comes into play, because that will give most relevant features to the user, to know what the user wants, to know what mood the user is in, what you can offer to the user, maybe also as a commercial part. So less about, let's say, the product as it is currently itself, about the car as a mechanical, physical object, but more about the service.
And to add on basically what Matt said, I think it's a generation topic. Means I'm a baby boomer, so as I was buying a car, what was the big topic here? How many horsepowers? What is the acceleration of the cars? How many cylinders do we have inside the car? So this is a topic the young generation even don't care or don't know anymore how many cylinders are in their car. So this is changing now very much, as Matt said, to the user experience. So the user experience, what is happening within the cabin, what is here, the technology, how is it accessible, how fast is it? So this will be determining the buying behavior of the next generation, and therefore, I wouldn't call myself a dinosaur in this game here, but I will buy 3 more cars, and then it's basically over. And when I'm looking for autonomous driving cars, because this is driving me from A to B to my old friends, and because I'm not so fit anymore to drive all these cars. So this is what I guess will drive technologies.
Great. I think Angela has a little bit of a bad connection, so I will take over. There's another important question that I would like to ask you. Looking into the future, long future, what is, in your opinion, what could be the next big technology? Where do you think that we should now start investing a lot, because it will be the next big technology in the future? What will have the highest impact? What do you think?
From my point of view, means topics, and I think Matt said it before, means electrification. It's for me a done deal, basically. It's something which we have to make more cheaper, more accessible. The big technology is to use topics like blockchains, to use this kind of AI technologies to make this kind of mobility much easier for generations. So therefore, I would also agree what has been said before. Mobility as a service, this is exactly the way how people want to experience it and how they want to do it. And we need many technologies to do or to achieve this target here. It's not just technology by itself, it's the deployment into this kind of infrastructure we are living, because what COVID has also proven means we still want to be mobile. Mobile will not go away, mobility, because also socializing will not go away. It means we have Zoom, yes, but to meet people, to drink together a glass of wine, I think this is still what people want to have. And we have to come to our friends. We cannot just Zoom ourselves. Means a big target would be like, let's say, spaceships, or, spaceship Enterprise, Scotty, beam me to place A. This is a big vision, but it will not happen for next decades. However, we still need cars, buses, or bicycles to come to these places. And this means a service to be mobile is for me a big topic.
I would say what's important is to integrate the mobility somehow, because the way we have used to use mobility will not work anymore. Like, a taxi can break the law and stop anywhere, and break the law for 30 seconds until you get out of the car. An autonomous car will not be able to do that. So you will have, let's say, more constrained pickup and drop-off points, and this will require more integrated mobility solutions. So more like an ecosystem where it's not just one means of transport. So integration of the different transportation systems is a big topic. And I would say there's a really strong movement to electrification. So what has been before, let's say, some kind of greenwashing and marketing exercises and cars on Geneva and Frankfurt auto shows, now it's reality. Volkswagen is going all in to become fully electric, and they are really aggressive at that, and many are following, and Tesla and so on. I think what's important is to make those cars really environmentally friendly by changing our way we create electricity. By electrifying devices, it brings us the opportunity to move away from fossil fuels, because only part of the fossil fuels burned is actually used by the electricity grid. Now that you have more devices like cars being charged by the electricity grid, you have to make sure that that grid is more sustainable. And that's not going to work with the current renewable energies. I'm not a big fan of solar and wind, to be honest. I'm a big fan of nuclear. But when already people who don't understand technology make decisions, and I can't believe what is happening in Germany in the last years, such a smart country with so many smart people making so wrong choices in their energy policy. When that's already happening, I think there is going to be a lot of energy-related innovation necessary, like storage of that electricity generated to really make an impact on the emissions. Because if we just make cars electric and don't change the way we make electricity, it's not going to be that much of an impact.
So I hope
Okay, Angela, we're still missing you.
Actually,
no problem.
Yeah.
Angela, so we hear you a little bit broken, so no problem. I will take over. I think we need to close now because we've already had these 20 minutes of Fireside, which was amazing. I think you're all perfect speakers for talking about this topic. I would like to continue talking about that. And I think that we'll have the chance in the breakouts. Mate will have to leave, but for the technological breakout, we will have Hans and also Adrian from ABB discussing that. So thanks a lot, everyone. Again, you have a poll here. So now, just for everyone's knowledge, we will have a very introductory, a small session about our mentoring program. So for the speakers that are here, you can take a long break now if you want. The audience, please join me into the mentoring program session. So again, thanks for everything. It was really inspiring, and see you back into the breakouts or the mentoring the alumni. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.